Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to lead you through a pregnancy-friendly lower body strength session. This is safe for all trimesters and I will give you as many modifications as possible. As you can see, I do have some equipment with me today. I'm going to be sticking with using one set of dumbbells and they are each 20 pounds, so a set of 20s. And I also have a yoga block with me. The yoga block is going to be used for some heel elevated squats. So if you don't have a yoga block, but you have something that's a couple inches high that you could elevate your heels on while doing squats, you can use that. It's also totally optional. You don't need to elevate your heels at all. I'm also going to be using it on the ground for some glute bridges in between my knees. So if you don't have a yoga block, but you have a pillow or you have a Pilates ball, that will also work for that exercise. That is all you need. We are going to be doing a warm up and a cool down. Make sure you can see your screen so you can follow along with me. And without further ado, let's get to it. All right, we are going to begin our warm up on the ground. We're going to begin seated with our legs bent at 90 degrees. So leaning back onto your hands, we're just going to drop the knees from side to side. And you should feel that stretch in the top hip. Good, one more time, each side. Good, swinging those legs around, sitting over onto your hip. We're gonna come into a tabletop position. We're just gonna do a couple cat-cows, and as we do these cat-cows, I really want you to focus on your pelvis. So tilting your pelvis forward and then doing the opposite, tucking the bum under. So as we drop the hips, the head comes up. And then tucking the bum under, lifting belly button to the sky and pressing into your hands. Good, one more. Good, coming to a neutral spine. We're gonna bring that right leg through, coming into a half kneeling position. So from here, I want you to bring those hips forward. So you should already feel that stretch in your left hip flexor. I'll do it this way so you can see. So instead of having our hips back here before we go into our lunge, we want to send those hips forward. So we're nice and straight here, feeling that hip flexor, and then we're going to sink into our lunge and coming back to that 90-degree position, sinking forward and back. Good, last time. Good, we're gonna switch the leg that's in front. Finding that half kneeling 90-90 position and shifting those hips forward. We're gonna sink into our lunge and coming back. Good, last time. Good. We are going to come into a low squat position. If you can, getting your heels down to the ground, and you can rock side to side, opening up those hips. And once you're comfortable, we're gonna place our hands down on the mat, or you can tuck them underneath your toes, and we're gonna send the hips up, stretching those legs, feeling the stretch in the hamstrings, and then coming back down through that low squat position if you can. Otherwise, we're just gonna come down to this squat position, sending the hips up and down. Last time, all the way up and down and rolling yourself up. Good. All right, we're gonna do a couple of hip hinges and a couple of bodyweight squats, and that will be it for our warm up. So first of all, taking our feet about shoulder width apart, fingertips by your ears. You're gonna have a soft bend in your knees, and we're gonna focus on sending the hips back into this hinged flat back position, and then coming up through that hinge. So thinking as if we're getting karate chopped here at the hips, keeping our chin tucked so we're in a nice straight line from the top of our head all the way down to our tailbone, and squeezing our bum at the top. Make sure your feet are grounded. You're sending weight through your big toes. Good, one more. Nice job. All right, we're just gonna do 10 bodyweight squats, warming up those legs, and then we will get started. So finding your squat position, keeping your chest lifted, shoulders back, we come down and up. Good, one more. Nice job. Shake those legs out. If you feel like you need to do anything else to warm up your body, please take the time to do so now. Otherwise, we are going to get started, and we're going to grab our dumbbells, one dumbbell in each hand. We're gonna start with some single leg RDLs in a kickstand position. So we're gonna have one foot forward, making sure our hips and shoulders are facing the same direction the whole time. This foot and this leg is just back here for support. We're gonna focus on this leg. So just like we did in our warm up, we're focusing on that hip hinge, sitting back into this leg as we hinge forward and coming back up. So making sure that before we even begin any of our exercises today, that we are taking a deep breath and exhaling, lifting through the low abs, the middle abs, and closing off the ribs at the top to make sure that we are supporting our core because we are moving weight today. Nice job. We are taking a 30-second rest in between all of our exercises today. And we're gonna repeat each of our exercises 3 times before we move on. So we're gonna stick with this same leg 2 more times before we switch. Here we go, getting ready for our next set on the same leg. Stacking ribs and pelvis, making sure the core is properly braced, hinging at the hips, sending the bum back, and pressing through the entire foot to hinge up. Nice job. Taking a quick rest. We want to make sure that, like I said, we are focusing all on that supporting leg. So mind to muscle, we want to think about sitting back into this hip, sending that bum to the back wall, feeling the pelvis open at the back, and feeling that hamstring extend at the bottom. We're gonna do that one more time on the same leg. Nice job. We get a 45-second rest in between all of our sets today. So take a little bit of a breather. We're gonna set up for the other leg. Here we go. Make sure that you're finding your footing first. Bracing the core. Then we pick up our weights. Shoulders back, chest open, hinging at the hips, sitting into that supporting leg, pressing through the entire foot. Nice job. So we get to do that 2 more times on that same leg. Here we go. Really think about that hinge. Send your bum to the back wall. Nice job. Quick rest. One more time on that leg, and then we will move on. Nice job. All right, 45-second rest. We're moving on to our next exercise. This is where the block is gonna come in. I'm gonna place that down here on the ground to elevate my heels. We're gonna take more of a narrow stance squat. I was gonna say narrow squat squat. So, toes and the balls of your feet should be firmly on the floor. Your heels are elevated, your knees are pointed forward, hips, shoulders, everything is stacked. You're either gonna hold a dumbbell like so, or you can hold a dumbbell on either side. Totally depends on how you're feeling. Some people like the change in leverage here, holding the dumbbell in front, but again, totally up to you. And we're gonna do some squats. So coming all the way down and pressing through the feet. So elevating our heels here is helping us to target those quads a little bit more. Like I said, it's not totally necessary to elevate the heels, and if you find it awkward or uncomfortable, you can totally just do these squats without the heels up. Nice job. Taking a quick rest. Here you go, make sure you're sitting all the way back into that squat and pressing through those heels, even though they're elevated, coming up. Keeping a nice straight back. Nice job. Quick rest. One more time. Coming down and pressing through the feet. Nice work. All right, we can set that block aside for now. We're going to do some alternating reverse lunges as our next exercise. So nice and simple. Again, you can either hold the dumbbell here or you can have a dumbbell on either side. Again, it depends on how much weight you are pushing, how much weight you have available to you, and also what feels best in your body. But we are just stepping back and coming back to center and switching sides, nice and simple. Half my workout these days are talking through the exercises. Okay, so again, making sure that we're stacking ribs and pelvis and core is engaged first, shifting our weight to our supporting leg, coming back, making sure that this is not a huge lunge. We're not stepping way back. We're keeping the lunge nice and short and focus on pressing through the foot. Take this slow if you have to, making sure that we're not wobbling through our supporting leg. Nice job. Taking a 30-second rest. Nice job, quick rest. All right, last round of lunges. Here we go, make each lunge count, even if you have to move super slow. Nice job. All right, we can set these weights aside because we are done with those. We're gonna grab our yoga block. We're gonna come down to the ground. Now, if you are uncomfortable laying on your back, you can do this elevated on your hands. We're just gonna be doing some glute bridges. So you can do some reverse bridges here, or you can have your back elevated against a bench, a chair, a table, and do some hip thrusts that way. I am using my block like so in between my knees. So we've got a nice space here. And I'm going to place that in between my knees during the glute bridges. Coming down. So squeezing that block or whatever you have in between the knees And just working through these glute bridges, nice and simple. Feet pressing firm through the floor. The reason that we have this block or something in between the knees is to help us engage our adductors, so our inner thighs, and it also helps us to properly engage the pelvic floor muscles. That way, we're taking less strain off the low back. We're just ensuring that everything is moving as it should and functioning as it should. Sometimes having something in between the knees for like a squat or anything really can help with that. We're gonna take a nice little break and we'll do that again. Also, as you're coming down onto the ground, making sure that you're coming down onto your side first and rolling onto your back. Something I have to remind myself to do a lot. So, sending the hips up and down. Nice and simple. Nice job. We are going to do that one more time. And then we're gonna do some clamshells down here on the ground just to finish everything off. Here we go, last round of glute bridges. Mind to muscle, squeeze, making sure that we're not over tucking the pelvis and we're also not arching or tilting the pelvis forward. We're just focused on keeping that squeeze in the glutes as long as we can. So sending the hips up, neutral spine squeeze, and control, try and hold that squeeze as we come down. Very nice. All right, taking a 45-second rest. You can set that block aside. We're gonna set ourselves up for some clamshells. We're gonna do 30 seconds on one side, take a quick 10-second rest as we flip to the other side, and we're gonna do that twice. So we're gonna start on our forearm, stacking shoulder over top of your elbow, making sure that we're in a straight line from our head all the way down to our bum. And we are stacking the ribs and the pelvis, sending that hip away, supporting the core first and foremost. Legs are bent at about a 90-degree angle, and what we're going to do is open, pressing up on that hip, and control, lower down. You can also modify this by adding a band and just doing this upper leg. It removes a lot of that core work. You're still using your core to stabilize yourself here, but it's not as intense as pressing up here. Nice job. Taking a 10-second rest. We're gonna switch it over, rolling over to the other side. So we wanna make sure that this knee is positioned in a place where you can send that hip all the way up without feeling like your leg is too far away from you. So you might have to adjust it a little bit just to find out where that spot is for you. And we're thinking about opening up this top knee as far as it can go. Nice job. We're gonna do that one more time in each side. So flipping it over. Really control on the way down. Nice job. Last 30 seconds on this side. Here we go. And relax. Nice job. Take a quick little breather. We'll do a quick cool down. We are going to start just in a child's pose. So whenever you're ready, you can meet me there. Opening up the knees. And we're gonna reach the arms forward. Just focus on slowing the breath down and relaxing our hips and our glutes. So as you take some deep breaths here, as you inhale, I want you to focus on expanding your rib cage in all directions without the feeling of your shoulders raising to your ears. So we want to send the breath down. You should feel that pelvic floor move down. The breath is moving down and you're feeling the pelvic floor relax. Your hips relax, your low back relax. Good, and slowly walking yourself up. We will do a couple of stretches. We'll start here on our knees since we're already here. You're gonna stack your hip and knee, and then you're gonna extend the opposite leg. Arms out in front of you and tucking those back toes. You're gonna sit back onto the heel and then rocking forwards. Back and forward. So you should feel that stretch in this inner thigh. Again, feeling the pelvis open. Good. We will switch legs. It's coming over to the other side. Tucking those back toes and sitting back and forwards. Good. All right, last stretch that we will do is for our glutes, and you can do this in a couple of ways. Again, if you're not comfortable laying down on your back, you can do a seated hip and glute stretch by crossing one of the legs over and twisting. But if the belly is too uncomfortable to do that, we can also cross the legs like so and just allow that knee to relax if you can, feeling that stretch in the glute and the hip. If you're super flexible, trying to walk forward and feeling that stretch even more. Otherwise, you're gonna come down on your back, crossing one leg over the other, tucking the hands behind the knees and pulling the knees in gently towards the chest. Good, releasing, stretching both legs up and crossing the other over and bringing the knees in. Good, release. Carefully rolling ourselves up. Again, if there is anything else that you need to do to cool down the body, to stretch anything out, by all means, take the time to do so. Otherwise, give yourself a pat on the back for showing up today. I hope you enjoyed this lower body strength session. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know how you enjoyed it down below. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video from me. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. If you enjoy my workout videos, then make sure to join me in the MadFit app. You'll get access to structured programs, challenges, exclusive workouts, recipes, and many more amazing features that will help you on your health and fitness journey. If you haven't already downloaded MadFit, make sure to click the link in the description, and I will see you guys inside the app.